Our 10th race of the year comes to us from California Speedway. Lots of news broke out from this weekend as we get into this race. 28 laps, 43 cars in this race, and only 49 have entered. Only one pit stop is necessary. Now some notes. Andy Hughes' number 96 team does shut down due to lack of funding. Since the team was not performing well, they decided to shut down. McDonald's is going to sponsor the 98 car of Jeremy Mayfield for the rest of 2001. June Levy's number 90 team will only compete in road courses. And the reason why is because they had an agreement beforehand, and Brian Simo will drive that car. Also in other news, due to Kurt Busch's poor performances, Chris Trickle has stepped away from the 50 car to drive the 97 car. Sharpie is going to come along to sponsor Trickle in the 97 ride. Also, the 14 team has decided to scale back their races to part-time. And then finally, Shauna Robinson and Kevin Harvick both make their first starts in 2001. Ricky Rudd takes the pole for this race as he and Ricky Craven are side by side as they go into turn number 1 here in California. Leading lap 1 is Ricky Rudd, Adam Petty second, Jeff Burton is in third. 27 laps to go, Adam Petty does take the lead for the moment by Ricky Rudd, but here comes Jeff Gordon as he's going to go behind Adam Petty and he wants to take the lead away from him. Adam Petty goes with the block Ricky Rudd, but all it does is give room to Jeff Gordon. With 17 laps to go, Gordon leads Rusty Wallace second, Jeff Burton third, and watch farther in the back between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Ricky Rudd. Those two get way too close together, and Dale Jr. goes to the outside wall, taking him out of contention. With 15 laps to go, our one pit stop takes place, and everybody takes advantage. 12 laps to go, we have our restart as Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, and Tony Stewart and Adam Petty are your top 5. With 9 laps to go, Tony Stewart moves into second, and he wants more. To the inside of Jeff Gordon, he is going to try and take the lead away. As the two of them go side by side down the back straightaway, they are dead even speed-wise. But Tony Stewart gets the nose ahead and will clear Jeff Gordon. But only for a moment, as with 8 laps to go, Jeff Gordon battles back and Ricky Rudd is pulled into the picture as well. 7 laps to go, Tony Stewart says, "Nah, I want the lead back," as he goes back around Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Burton is also in this battle. 3 laps to go, one more time. Jeff Gordon goes around Tony Stewart as a few other cars are now in this battle, but Jeff Gordon does clear Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart could not battle back as Jeff Gordon will take the win here in California, with Ricky Rudd finishing in second. And we'll show you the rest of the top 10 here. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, Tony Stewart, Bill Elliott, Jeff Burton, Kenny Irwin Jr. finishes 6th, Dale Jarrett 7th, Davey Allison 8th, and Jimmy Spencer and Jerry Nudu round out the top 10. Jeff Gordon led the most laps with 21. The point standings have absolutely tightened up here, as Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and Bill Elliott are all within 1 point of each other. Burton is in 4th, Tony Stewart 5th, and then Davey Allison, Jimmy Spencer, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, and Sterling Marlin are your top 10 in points. Our 11th race takes us to the famous Riverside Speedway, which is also in California. 17 laps, 43 cars are in this race, 52 entered. Only 1 pit stop is necessary, and we have road ringers. Those include Robbie Gordon and Anthony Lazzaro, who failed to qualify, and then Scott Pruitt, who's in a 3rd Chip Ganassi car, Boris Said, who's replacing Robert Presley for only this race, Brian Simo, and then Ron Fellows, who's replacing John Nemechek for this race. Other cars that failed to qualify include Brett Bodine, Casey Elliott, Tim Steele again, Todd Bodine, Mike Wallace, Stacy Compton, and Jeremy Mayfield. Ricky Craven is on pole as he's going to take him to the line. With him, Jeff Burton, Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, and Chris Trickle in the top 5. But on lap 1, we had some problems as Ricky Rudd did not get through the corner well, and look at how stacked they are, and when they get into the sand, more problems ensue. Dale Jarrett, who is up there in points, Tara Labonte also gets spun. That will bring out the caution as they come back to the line. Restart with 14 laps to go. Jeff Burton, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Ricky Craven, and Adam Petty are your top 5. Tony Stewart, as you see there, goes underneath, and Dale Jr. with another poor run. As you see, we got more problems here on the same lap, including Borissid, Davey Allison as he gets some air, Bobby Labonte, and because they all stopped, that brings up the caution. More problems as Rock Phillips goes into gravel traps. Jimmy Spencer abruptly stops, and that will take both of them out of the race. With 10 laps to go, Jeff Burton is your leader with Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, and Adam Petty in tow. As they go up the hill here, Jeff Burton and Mark Martin go side by side for the lead, and Mark Martin does get the nose out ahead as Tony Stewart and Jeff Burton remain side by side for the second position. The only pit stop comes out with 5 laps to go as Mark Martin will lead most of them down pit road. Adam Petty and Dale Earnhardt, you see there, they do come down pit road the next lap. And with 2 laps to go, everybody else is back on track. And Mark Martin, he has a huge lead. And because of that, no one will catch him. And Mark Martin will get his first win of the year at Riverside. Mark Martin led the most laps with 8 as he goes on to win. Adam Petty, in his first road course start, finishes second. Jeff Burton, Tony Stewart, and Jeff Gordon finished in the top 5. Dale Earnhardt, Chris Trickle in the 97 car finished 7th. Ricky Craven, who started on pole, finished 8th. Rusty Wallace and Ron Hornaday finished in the top 10. This is one of the few races that the 14 team does attempt. So Jeff Gordon moves into the point lead with Jeff Burton following in second. Dale Jarrett drops from 1st to 4th after this race because of his crash. Bill Elliott remains in 3rd. Tony Stewart remains in 5th. Davey Allison falls outside the top 10 because of his poor run, as well as Jimmy Spencer. Rusty Wallace moves up 2 spots. Ricky Rudd stays in 9th. Dale Earnhardt moves into the top 10, as well as Adam Petty. Race number 12 takes us to Richmond, Virginia at Richmond International Raceway. 43 laps, 43 cars, 48 have entered. 1 pit stop, and then a big announcement this weekend as Kevin LePage was released from Morgan McClure Racing and Clifford Allison has been named the new driver of the number 4 Kodak machine. The new plan is that Clifford will drive that car for all the races this year, and then Robbie Gordon will continue to attempt the road courses. Drivers that failed to qualify include Brett Bodine again, Casey Elliott again, Mike Wallace, Dave Blaney, and Chris Trickle, who had the strong run at Riverside, could not make the field tonight. On the pole is Tony Stewart. Adam Petty, who finished second at Riverside, will start second. Then it's Ward Burton, Alan Kwiecki, and Ricky Craven, your top 5, as they go into turn number 1 here at Richmond. Down the back straightaway, Tony Stewart goes as Ward Burton goes underneath, and we already have our first caution. Bobby Hamilton, the lightning scheme, gets turned. Kenny Irwin almost wrecks, but he keeps going. As Tony Stewart comes back to the line, quick plug-in, you can get the Bobby Hamilton's lightning car for download. But watch coming off of turn number 4 here. Matt Kenseth, he tries going on pit road, but he comes back on the track, and a huge crash comes out, and watch Casey Atwood into the air in one of his limited starts. He's already out of the race. No pit stops with 36 laps to go. Restart ensues with Adam Petty behind Tony Stewart. Adam Petty on the next lap immediately takes the lead from Tony Stewart. With 26 laps to go, Ricky Craven goes underneath Adam Petty and will take the lead away. Ward Burton follows suit in 3rd position. 18 laps to go, caution number 2 comes out. Jeremy Mayfield spins out John Nemechek. Fortunately, nobody else gets wrecked. 16 laps to go, we have our only set of pit stops as everybody takes advantage of 4 tires and fuel. 11 laps to go, we have a restart. Jeff Gordon had some problems in pit road, and so he falls a lap down, but he's the only one. But speaking of problems, Jeff Gordon and Ricky Craven remain side by side, and that gives the nose ahead to Arnie Irvin, who was in 2nd, but for the moment takes the lead. But Jeff Gordon is not giving up that spot to stay on the lead lap, as since Irvin goes high, Ricky Craven falls back, and Ricky Rudd takes the lead away. But as you saw, the caution lights were flashing for this. Mike Skinner and Joe Nemechek crash in turn number 3, and now take ring out the caution. And Jeff Gordon does get his lap back. Restart with 5 laps to go. Ricky Rudd, your leader. Then it's Dale Jarrett, Arnie Irvin, Davey Allison, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., your top 5. No challenge as Ricky Rudd goes to the line, and Ricky Rudd will get his 2nd win of 2001. See the rest of the top 10 here. Ricky Craven gets most laps led with 14, as Ricky Rudd is your winner. Dale Jarrett 2nd, Arnie Irvin 3rd, Davey Allison 4th, Dale Jr. 5th. Then it's Rusty Wallace, Ward Burton, Adam Petty with another top 10. Tony Stewart and Ricky Craven, who led the most laps, finishes in 10th. Then in terms of points, Jeff Burton takes the spot up front. Bill Elliott moves up to 2nd, Jeff Gordon drops to 3rd, Dale Jarrett remains in 4th, as well as Tony Stewart staying in 5th. Rusty Wallace remains in 6th, Ricky Rudd moves up from 9th to 7th, Adam Petty remains in 8th, Dale Earnhardt falls outside the top 10 as Davey Allison moves into the top 10, and Mark Martin falls back from 7th to 10th. Race number 13 takes us to the famed Coke 600. And just as a quick side note, we don't have all the information necessary to show you the Winston just yet. So some things to note, this is a long race. 43 laps, 43 cars are in this race, 51 entered this race, only 1 pit stop necessary. And then the big note this weekend is Ryan Newman, who's been doing some good in the Busch Series, gets his first start in 2001 as he drives a 3rd Penske racing car, being teammates to Rusty Wallace and Tim Richmond. Cars that failed to qualify include Brett Bodine, Ron Hornaday in one of his few starts, Casey Elliott again misses a race, Jimmy Spencer, Joe Nemechek, big shocker for both of them since Jimmy Spencer won at Darlington, Derek Cope, John Andretti in the 43 car, and Robert Presley failed to make the field. But on pole is Ken Schrader in the 36 car with Alan Quickie alongside. Dale Jr., Mark Martin, and Sterling Marlin are your top 5 as here we go, we are underway in the Coke 600. Leading lap 1 is Ken Schrader, but Dale Jr. is not wasting time as he goes underneath Ken Schrader. At 41 laps to go, Dale Jr. does so and he takes the lead. Not for long, it's 38 laps to go. That is Sterling Marlin going underneath Dale Jr. as he takes the front spot away. Dale Jr. tries to fight back, but the low side is the place to go here at Lowe's. 34 laps to go, new contender Ricky Rudd goes underneath Sterling Marlin as the senior Dale Earnhardt is right behind both of them. They were side by side, but Ricky Rudd did lead that lap. 24 to go, here comes Big E to the inside of Ricky Rudd as Dale Earnhardt gets the stronger run. Coming off of turn number 4, Dale Earnhardt to P1. Dale Earnhardt leaves the field coming up pit road shortly soon after, and everybody makes their pit stops. Pit stops were clean, and everybody makes it back onto the track. And as you see here, after pit stops, it comes down to 3 drivers, Dale Earnhardt, Arnie Irvin, and Tony Stewart. With 10 laps to go, Arnie Irvin makes the charge as he goes underneath Dale Earnhardt, and Tony Stewart follows suit. 8 laps to go, it is Tony's turn as he goes underneath Arnie Irvin. Tony Stewart in the 20 Home Depot Pontiac to P1. And Tony Stewart will keep the lead. Dale Earnhardt tries to fight back, but it won't be enough. Tony Stewart wins the Coke 600. In a surprisingly caution-free race, Tony Stewart does get the win. As we'll show you the top 10 here, Ricky Rudd gets the nod for the most laps led as he finishes 4th. But Tony Stewart's your winner. Dale Earnhardt and Arnie Irvin round up your top 3. Little E finishes 5th. Then it's Davey Allison, Ward Burton, Adam Petty, Matt Kenseth, and Kenny Irwin Jr., your top 10. Jeff Burton continues to lead as Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott swap positions. Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett also swap positions because of Tony Stewart's win. Ricky Rudd and Rusty Wallace also swap positions. Adam Petty and Davey Allison, they also swap positions, and Mark Martin remains 10th in points. But Jeff Burton's point lead is very short, only 15 points in front of Jeff Gordon. Our 14th race of the year takes us to Dover International Raceway. 43 laps, 43 cars, 48 have entered. And the big news from this week, the 70 team of Mike Wallace is going to make their final attempt of the season. They cannot afford to race anymore, and so they are going to stop after this race, and they're going to try to come back in 2002. Cars that failed to qualify include Brett Bodine, Joe Nemechek again, Lance Hooper tried to make this race but failed, Robert Presley, Stacy Compton, and Chris Trickle failed to make this race. Sterling Marlin is on pole, and Clifford Allison with a good qualifying run starts second. And so here we go. Michael Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, and Tim Richmond are your top 5 as they go into turn number 1. Completing lap 1, Sterling Marlin's your leader, and Michael Waltrip is in second. 42 laps to go. We have a little incident here involving Little E, John Nemechek, and John Andretti. Junior spins and keeps going, but we do have more problems in turn number 4 involving Coke 600 winner Tony Stewart, John Nemechek, John Andretti, and Bobby Hamilton. Fortunately, they all keep racing. No pit stops as we restart 36 to go. Marlin leads, Michael Waltrip second, and Jason Leffler in third. Huge crash here with 25 to go. Allison in the wall, Bobby Labonte also wrecks, and watch Bobby Labonte. Gets plowed by Tim Richmond, and a Ken Schrader goes up and over. Lots of other cars get involved, including Adam Petty, Rob Moroso, and Mike Skinner. 23 to go. Everybody makes their pit stops, as hopefully that'll be the only pit stops they need to make all race long. 20 laps to go. Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte are in front of the leader, which is Sterling Marlin. And watch this calamity. Gordon gets into Junior, who comes up into Mike Skinner, and he takes out the leader, Sterling Marlin. And the whole field wrecks behind. Terry Labonte gets lots of air, and watch Alan Kowicki. Gets popped by Bill Elliott and goes up and over. Lots of cars went behind the wall after that. 15 laps to go. Jeff Gordon is your leader. He did not get involved in the wreck. Michael Waltrip second, Rusty Wallace third. 14 laps to go. Another caution involving John Nemechek and Dale Jr. as they come up, and it involves Jason Leffler, Mike Skinner, and Clifford Allison. But watch here. Rob Moroso had nowhere to go and gets into Clifford Allison, and that takes him out of the race. 8 laps to go, single file restart. Jeff Gordon leads, Rusty Wallace second, and Ricky Rudd is in third. No challenge for any of them, as a few cars had to make pit stops here. They thought they could only go 1, but fuel mileage was an issue. And Jeff Gordon will come off at turn number 4. No challenge as he wins here at Dover. So as we check out the top 10, as Sterling Marlin led the most laps with 23, Jeff Gordon's your winner. Jeremy Mayfield finishes second because he had enough fuel. Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip, and Mark Martin are your top 5. Jerry Nadeau, Dave Blaney, Elliott Sadler, Tony Stewart, and Steve Park round out your top 10. With a 35-point cushion, Jeff Gordon now takes the lead over Jeff Burton. Bill Elliott drops to 4th as Tony Stewart moves up to 3rd. Dale Jarrett remains in 5th, Ricky Rudd 6th, Rusty Wallace 7th, Adam Petty jumps up a spot to 8th as Davey Allison drops to 10th, and Mark Martin moves up to 9th in points. Our race in focus is going to be the Milwaukee 300. Our 15th race of the year is a short one. Only 33 laps and 43 cars are in this race. 49 of them have entered. Pit stops, they will for sure make one, but can they go the distance on only one pit stop? Because there are some people that had to make two in the stretch of 33 laps. So then some other little things to consider as well. Find the low groove. That is your best friend, and you want to make all the passes as you can on the bottom side. Because in the turns, it is all pavement. There's no pavement on the top side, it is all concrete. And as you know, there's less grip with concrete. Also, as mentioned before, it is a quick race. Only 33 laps, so you need to get your stuff done quick. And then lastly, you gotta start thinking about points. We're getting to a point now in time where you really gotta focus on that, and you gotta really think about points racing more than just winning the race. So now, with that all the way, let's get the engines fired for the third running of the Milwaukee 300. Drivers, start your engines. The engines have fired here at the Milwaukee Mile as we're going to get set for our third race at the famed Speedway. So here is the starting lineup for the Milwaukee 300. Starting on pole is Bill Elliott, who currently sits 4th in points, driving a special Muhammad Ali paint scheme. Ali, born in nearby Michigan, special dedication to him. And alongside him, Davey Allison, who currently sits 10th in points. Mark Martin, Riverside winner, will start 3rd, and Shauna Robinson, making her 2nd start in 2001, with a very impressive start, starting in 4th. Row 3 has Dale Jarrett, the Daytona 500 winner, and Kevin Harvick, also making his 2nd start in 2001 in the ALL 30 Chevrolet for Richard Childress. Row 4 has a couple of Earnhardts. The son is starting in 7th, and the father is starting in 8th. Neither of them have won this season. Hopefully that can change today. Row 5 finds Tony Stewart, who's 3rd in points right now, and Rusty Wallace, who has won twice at Bristol and Martinsville so far this season. Row 6 finds John Andretti and Ricky Craven. Almost won at Richmond this year, but hopefully he can capitalize today. Row 7 finds Matt Kenseth and Ken Schrader in the M&M's Pontiac. Row 8 finds Ricky Rudd, our Richmond winner, as well as at Atlanta, and Adam Petty, who is our Rookie of the Year points leader right now, who sits 8th in the regular points standings. Row 9 finds Mike Skinner and Todd Bodine in the Kmart Blue Light Special Ford. Starting 19th is Terry Labonte, and Michael Waltrip will start in the 20th position. Clifford Allison making another start in the Kodak car, and Kyle Petty, Adam's father, will start 22nd. Alan Kowicki, not having the best of season so far, will start 23rd, and Steve Park will start 24th. Row 13 finds Jeff Burton and Kenny Irwin Jr. driving the Special Olympics paint scheme, and he'll drive that throughout the summer months. Robert Presley will drive the 77 car, will start 27th, and Jerry Nadeau returns to the 32 car in 28th. Bill Davis cars, Ward Burton and Dave Blaney will start 29th and 30th. Arnie Irvin will start 31st, and alongside him, Johnny Benson, who finished 2nd at Rockingham. Andy Petrie teammates, Joe Nemechek and Bobby Hamilton will take row 17. Casey Elliott farther in the back, and Sterling Marlin in the Coors Light Dodge. Jeff Gordon, not a good qualifying run, will start 37th, and Jeremy Mayfield in the McDonald's Ford will start 38th. Row 20 now has Tim Richmond and John Nemechek, pole sitter from the Daytona 500. Ron Moroso, and alongside him, Elliott Sadler, and rounding out the rear is Bobby Labonte in the 51 Best Western Chevrolet. Cars that failed to qualify include Brett Bodine, Ron Hornaday in his limited attempts failed to make it, Jimmy Spencer, the Darlington winner, failed to show up here at Martinsville, Tim Steele fails to make another race, Stacy Compton, and Chris Trickle. We have a very competitive field here in the 2001 season, and we will see some strong names go home today. So as the cars make their way down the back straightaway here as we are about to go green flag, it is going to be a very interesting race. As on this 1 mile flat track, reminiscent of New Hampshire, as the pace car is going to make his way down pit road. Bill Elliott, as you see, he's on the pavement. Davey Allison is in the concrete. Will that have a big factor or not? As the pace car is going to come on in, Elliott, Allison, or will someone in the back take the win here at Milwaukee? Green flag is out. We're racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Tony Stewart gets in the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and we already have a crash. In turn number 1, Tony Stewart gets turned. Mike Skinner, heavy damage. Dale Jr.'s day is already done. Bobby Labonte has heavy damage. They're going to race their way back into turn number 4 down the front straightaway, and they'll take the caution. Bill Elliott has it. Mark Martin is in second position, and Dale Jarrett and Davey Allison are going to battle side by side for third, and it looks like Davey Allison should have it. Dale Jr., heavy damage. Never even completed a lap, and he's already done. Casey Elliott, not much damage there. Rusty Wallace, heavy front end damage. Guys, Tony Stewart got way too close to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and that caused problems. Mike Skinner not having the best of seasons. His day is done. And so the pace car is going to pick up the field here as they are in turn number 3. Bill Elliott is your leader. Mark Martin, Davey Allison, Dale Jarrett, and Shauna Robinson. And it looks like pit stops are going to start here. Most everybody is going to make their way down pit road. One driver does stay out, and we'll get a look on who that is in a second. But right now, everyone's making their way down pit road. And it looks like they're going to try to make it on this one stop. But is it a little too early? Chip, what do you got for us?
Well, Griff, it looks like Bill Elliott, he says that his car is pretty good, even though they only literally ran just one lap. They're just going to take 4 tires, and they will take 1 round of wedge out of the car. The 6 cars, see, they're fuel only. And when I said 4 tires for Bill, I lied. It's only fuel only. They don't need to take tires right now.
Thanks, Chip. Definitely makes sense to only take fuel because they literally just ran 1 lap. So here's the replay here. In turn number 1, look at Tony Stewart all over the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr. And look at that. Jr. takes out his own dad. Rusty Wallace gets into the side of Dale Jr., nowhere to go, and they just jam up from there. Robert Presley gets turned. Rob Moroso slides to a halt. The pace car, he knows that caution's out. He's already back on the track. Another look here. Nowhere to go for Dale Earnhardt. More Mike Skinner. Definitely a terrible day for Richard Childress Racing already. Not as much damage as we thought, but as we're going through with Rusty Wallace, nowhere to go for the 2 car. As you see, he keeps going. But, as we mentioned, a few cars have gone behind the wall. Rusty Wallace is still on the track, however. So we have the rundown here with 29 laps to go. 1 car did stay on track, and that is Ricky Rudd. He did try a little bit of pit strategy earlier at Las Vegas, but remember, that didn't work out so well for him. As you see the rest of the rundown here, 3 cars have retired. Bobby Labonte, Dale Jr., and Mike Skinner. A couple of cars you see they're on track, but with heavy damage. I mean, their hoods are gone. Rusty Wallace and Kenny Irwin Jr. Both do not have their respective hoods, and they're going to restart in the back. Mind you, they are on the lead lap, so anything can still happen, and they can gain quite a few positions, honestly. So the pace car is going to pull on in. They are at 29 laps to go. They're going to restart with 28 laps to go. And so the big question is, can Ricky Rudd hold on to that position? And another question will be, will we have another brief caution? Pace car is going to make his way on in. Ricky Rudd leads the Milwaukee Mile. Then it's Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Gordon, your top 5. Green flag is out. Going into turn number 1, Adam Petty goes underneath Jeff Gordon for position. Gordon swings high. There is a little bit of grip up there, but it's better to be on the low side. Single file top 4, but as mentioned before, Petty and Gordon are side by side for the 5th position. As we go into turn number 3 here, Ricky Rudd is holding his own for right now. You also got to realize too that they only completed 1 lap in the green, so the tires are fairly even at the moment. Down in turn number 1, Mark Martin is now underneath Bill Elliott for the 2nd position. Dale Jarrett is following suit behind. As Ricky Rudd continues to lead, oh, Steve Park down to the inside wall. Up and over he goes, and Kyle Petty gets wrecked as well. Couple of cars spinning behind. That is Arnie Irvin and Tim Richmond. Huge crash down the back straightaway as we already have our 2nd caution of the day. As they all go back to the line, do you see Tim Richmond? Not much damage on him. Jury and Nadu also got turned, but it looks like they're all okay. But our focus is Steve Park. As you see here, caution lights are on. Ricky Rudd is still your leader. And it looks like Jeff Gordon has taken the 5th position from Dale Jarrett, and Adam Petty has moved his way up to 3rd. But Steve Park went up and over, almost over the wall. But we are getting reports that he is out of the car and he is okay. So now the question is, will we have pit stops this time? Ricky Rudd, he is going to go pit this time. Mark Martin stays out, Adam Petty stays out. Few others are going back down pit road. Bill Elliott just pitted. Gordon, Jarrett, and Robinson also pit as well. And it looks like that is it. So here's a replay down the back straightaway. Davey Allison gets into Steve Park. Davey Allison gets into Kyle Petty. And look at that. Car just launches into the air on his nose and on top of Kyle Petty. And onto the grass on his lid, but he does land on all 4s. Matt Kenseth, he got spun, but not much damage to him. Arnie Irvin, you see there spinning, but he does not get into Steve Park. He gets going. Right now, it looks like the only 2 cars that are retiring from this wreck are Steve Park and Kyle Petty. Look at this shot. Steve Park was mere feet from going over that wall. Thank goodness that did not happen. One more shot here as we will see the other car spinning out, as you see Kyle Petty and Steve Park wrecking there. And then you'll see, there you go, Johnny Benson spins Arnie Irvin, and that collects Tim Richmond and Jury Nadu. So we're going to restart here with 22 laps to go. Some interesting pit strategy. Mark Martin is your leader. Adam Petty, Rockingham winner, is going to be in 2nd. Michael Waltrip 3rd, Todd Bodine 4th, and Davey Allison will be your top 5. That's not the only Allison in the top 10. Clifford Allison has made his way up into the top 10. As you see the rundown here, it's going to be really interesting because you got some big names in the back, including Ricky Rudd, Bill Elliott, and Jeff Gordon, as well as Dale Jarrett. And then, as mentioned before, Steve Park and Kyle Petty are out from the wreck. And then Bobby Labonte, Mike Skinner, and Dale Jr. are also out from the wreck as well. As you see those cars in the back, it'll be interesting to see if that strategy works, because they did take tires. But my concern is that it is still fairly early in the going. So I wonder how much tires really do mean much in this race. So we're going to restart here. We are only going to have 22 laps to go. Mark Martin is your leader. Adam Petty is in 2nd. But how about Michael Waltrip? He does not have a win here in 2001. Could he capitalize? As pace car is in, the green flag is back out. We are resumed racing. Down in turn number 1, Michael Waltrip goes underneath Adam Petty. Adam Petty sticks to the high side, and look at this run by Adam Petty. Down turn number 2, down the back straightaway, he gets a very rare, strong run on the outside here in Milwaukee, and he's going to be side by side with Mark Martin for the lead. And a very impressive run by Adam Petty. He, on the outside, takes the lead from Mark Martin as we only have 21 laps to go. Davey Allison, meanwhile, he's going to challenge Michael Waltrip for position, and it looks like he's going to have it for the moment. How about Ken Schrader making his presence noticed in the top 10? Sorry about that. As Kevin Harvick and Clifford Allison are also in this battle. Side by side as Ken Schrader and Kevin Harvick are down to the turn number 4. That is a battle within the top 10. Still side by side as Todd Bodine has cleared him. Clifford Allison, remember he tried driving a 30 car, not that 30 car that Kevin Harvick drove, but another one, but that team shut down. But because of Kevin LePage's poor performance, as they're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway, Clifford Allison does get the nod and is in this car for now. Down in turn number 3, as Clifford Allison does clear Kevin Harvick. Nope, they're still side by side. Adam Petty continues to lead as Davey Allison has cleared Michael Waltrip for the 3rd position. As they come down the front straight, cars are very wide. Caution is out, and John Nemechek has gone for a spin in turn number 4. Into the outside wall, and that is the 3rd caution of the day. Adam Petty will come back around as he will take the caution, And it looks like Mark Martin will be in second, Davey Allison third, Michael Waltrip fourth, and Todd Bodine will be in the fifth position. So John Nemechek you see there in the back with Bill Elliott. I wonder if Bill Elliott had anything to do with this use of caution. So here's the replay. Rob Moroso all over the back of John Nemechek. He gets John loose, and into the outside wall he goes. Just pancakes it. Everyone gets by clean, so no problems there. Just Moroso trying to be a little aggressive, but gets a little too aggressive, and John Nemechek, definitely some damage to the right side of his car, but he is still on track. On board with Matt Kenseth, as you see the wreck happening in front of him, and it finishes behind him. So we've already restarted here with 14 laps to go as Davey Allison makes a dive underneath Mark Martin for the second position. Mark Martin is now in third as Michael Waltrip moves into fourth. The battle continues to rage farther in the back of the top 10 as Marlin puts a nose underneath Ricky Craven, and they're going to be 3 wide again. Ricky Craven is now in front of that group for the moment as they continue to go 3 wide into turn number 2. Ken Schrader is in front for the moment as Todd Bodine goes a little high. Adam Petty continues to lead with 13 laps to go. With Davey Allison in second, we got more problems on the back straightaway. Rusty Wallace and Rob Moroso good turn, and that will bring out the caution. Bill Elliott, you see there, still in the back. That pitch strategy has not been working out for that Dodge team. So the caution is out again, and Adam Petty continues to lead here. There you see Rusty Wallace, he's still on track despite not having a hood, and you saw Rob Moroso get turned as well. So guys, last time Adam Petty led the most laps, he won, and that was at Rockingham. As you see, Davey Allison is in second now. Could he do anything with Adam Petty? Mark Martin third. And so another question you got to bring up too is pit stops. Even though they did do the fuel thing really early, will that be enough to hold off to the very end? As they come off of turn number 4, it looks like no one's going to make their pit stops now. We'll show you a replay here of what happened, and it looks like everyone's going to try to hold out. So this looks like it'll be another fuel strategy race. So here down the back straightaway, Jeff Gordon gets close to Rusty Wallace and turns him around down the back straightaway. So it looks like Rusty Wallace and Rob Moroso's incidences were separate. As you see, the rest of the cars go on by, and I believe Bill Elliott was the one that turned Rob Moroso around. Here we get a better look here as, oh, Wallace gets into Presley, and there's just not enough room, and it looks like Shauna Robinson is the one that turned Rob Moroso. Oh, man, Bill Elliott gets some front-end damage as he clips Rob Moroso. So a little damage to that 9 team, the team that started on pole. Riding on board here with Jerry Nadeau. So Jerry is the one that enacted it because their bumpers were connected and Shauna had nowhere to go. So fortunately, none of the cars that are in that wreck are gone to the garage. Rob Moroso and Rusty Wallace are still on track. So we're only going to have 8 laps to go here as Adam Petty is still your leader with Davey Allison and Mark Martin your top 3. A couple other noticeables, Alan Kowicki is hanging out in the 14th position. Hopefully he gets a good finish. Dale Earnhardt is in 24th. Dale Jarrett is in 25th. And there you see Wallace and Moroso 37th and 38th, but they are both on the lead lap. Bob Labonte, Dale Jr., and Mike Spinner are all still out. How about Clifford Allison? Right now he is in the 5th position. How about this for a story? Kevin LePage has not been doing the best for the 4 team, so they released him and they brought on Clifford Allison. The deal is for right now that Robbie Gordon is doing the road course races, or at least going to attempt to. And then for now, Clifford Allison will be in the 4 car for the time being. But right now, the focus is on this race. Adam Petty continues to be your leader. Davey Allison is second. Mark Martin third. Michael Waltrip, Clifford Allison, Todd Bodine, Kevin Harvick, Ken Schrader, Ricky Craven, and Sterling Marlin are your top 10. Green flag is out. Only 8 laps to go. Ken Schrader pulls down to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Boy, just out there in the back, it's always been a battle. Adam Petty continues to lead. He gets a good space now between himself and Davey Allison. Down the back straightaway, top of 9 blocks Ken Schrader as Ricky Craven's going to go to the high side of Ken Schrader. Down into turn number 4, Adam Petty leads, and Ken Schrader now in the middle of a 3-wide battle as the caution comes out again with Dale Jarrett, the Daytona 500 winner, spinning down the back straightaway. Cautions breed cautions. This has been an absolutely caution-filled race with Dale Jarrett spinning down the back straightaway, and Marlin gets turned by Ricky Craven. I wonder what that was all about. Did Ricky Craven not race Marlin nice, or what was the deal there? Marlin's going to get back to this position, and I wonder if he has anything to say for Ricky Craven. So here's the replay of the wreck down the back straightaway. Boy, you barely saw it. There's another replay here. Dale Jarrett, oh, he gets into Earnhardt, gets into Gordon, who gets back into Earnhardt, and then he gets into Bobby Hamilton. Just a big pinball down the back straightaway. Dale Earnhardt, you saw there, he also got to the outside wall, but the damage there, I believe, is minor. Everyone is still on track. Dale Jarrett did take 4 tires and did repair some damage, but he is still on the lead lap. So NASCAR has deemed this restart the final one. If the caution comes out one more time, that will be the race. So everyone needs to race hard, but they also need to race smart. And so far, all those guys in front, they are still on track. It'll be interesting to see if the fuel does hold out. Lots of crew members have been talking and mentioning that fuel might be a potential issue. Cautions have been saving the cars quite a bit, but it is still borderline. So here we go. We're only going to have a 3-lap dash to the finish. Adam Petty leads. Davey Allison second. Davey just needs one good run, and that could potentially solidify the win. But the pace car pulls on in. Can Adam Petty get his second win of 2001? Green flag is out here with just 3 laps to go. Michael Waltrip, he's taking no time. Underneath from Mark Martin for the 3rd position. Adam Petty has a 2-car length lead on Davey Allison down the back straightaway. Mark Martin has a strong run, and we got problems. Ward Burton spins down the back straightaway. Will that bring out the caution? Can Ward Burton get going? And we got more problems. Terry Labonte spins, and that will bring out the caution. That is it. Adam Petty will come off at turn number 4. Davey Allison had a run, but Adam Petty will win. And we have more problems. Jeff Gordon in the air. Bill Elliott, heavy damage. Tim Richmond gets picked up by Ricky Rudd. Lots of crashing in turn number 4 as the pace car will pick up the field for the final time. So Adam Petty, in his rookie year, will get his 2nd win of 2001. Davey Allison is going to be staying 2nd. So let's get some replays going. Tony Stewart gets into Terry Labonte, who gets into Ward Burton. Ward Burton, you see there, gets some air. I believe that was not a caution, because I think if he would have spun and kept going and it was just him, we would still be on the green flag. But there was more. As you see Ward Burton keep going there. Alright, so we do have the second part. As you see Ward Burton spins, Terry Labonte, ooh, he overcorrects it into Alan Kawicki, and boy, lots of cars get into Terry Labonte. Arnie Irvin head on into Terry Labonte, and I believe it was that damage that would bring out the caution. But there was more. Coming off of turn number 4, Alan Kawicki and Dave Blaney. Alan Kawicki with a hard shot to the outside wall. Jerry Nadeau, boy, Shauna Robinson lifted Kenny Irwin in the air, and look at Ricky Rudd picking up Tim Richmond. Here's another slower replay. Benson goes way up the track, head on into Alan Kawicki. Boy, that is huge. And then Gordon, Jerry Nadeau, and it's just a big chain reaction there. Shauna Robinson gets in the back of Kenny Irwin, but look at the air Jeff Gordon gets. And Ricky Rudd, he applies the ARCA brakes as well, and Tim Richmond up and over. Rusty Wallace, boy, terrible day for Penske Racing. There you see as the caution comes out, and just nowhere for any of them to go. But as you see, Alan Kulwicki does drive it back to pit road, so he is okay. And look at this, we are live now. Look at all the cars going down pit road. This is the final lap, I might add. Remember we were talking about that. Look at all of them. And everybody that is on track, if their fuel holds, they're all going to gain positions. Yeah, look at that. They're all just getting quick fuel positions there. Dale Jarrett, as you see there, with lots of front end damage. Looks like he's going to be done. Bill Elliott immediately goes behind the wall. Boy, lots of different stuff going on here. But Adam Petty is still on track, which makes sense because track position is key. If he keeps the speed, Adam Petty will be the winner of the 2001 Milwaukee 300. I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure the top four did not pit. As they come to the line, and it looks like they're all going to maintain their speed, and Adam Petty will get his second win of 2001. So congrats to Adam Petty, and as you see all the cars passing by there, they all did not pit. And so because of the interesting fuel strategy, the top 10 has changed drastically. But one thing that stayed the same is Adam Petty. When he goes out front, he stays out front. So let's take a look here at the top 10. So Adam Petty, you see, is the winner. The 2 stars next to him means that he has led the most laps with 22. Davey Allison second, Mark Martin third, Michael Walsh at fourth, Sterling Marlin, who was around 10th the entire time, he moves up to 5th. And guys, that is not a joke. Jeff Gordon, who literally was in the air with 3 laps to go, he is 7th. And the reason why, he did not pit when all those other cars did. That's the reason why he is 7th. Kenny Irwin is 8th. He also did not pit. Clifford Allison was the first driver off pit road until he finishes 9th, and Kevin Harvick finishes 10th. Here's the top 20 as Jeff Burton is 11th. And what a very wacky top 10 and top 20 this is. Farther in the back, Bill Elliott, as you see there, he has to start next to him because he did get 5 points for leading a lap. But as you see, Elliott and Jarrett, they were on pit road. Bill Elliott should technically be out, as well as Dale Jarrett. And there you see all those other cars, they went to the garage before the checkered flag dropped. Ricky Rudd, as you see there, he does get a star because he did lead a lap, so he gets 5 bonus points. Alan Kulwicki, who we mentioned before, had such a strong run, will continue his disappointing season. And then you look at the last cars, and they were involved in the first wreck, which happened on the first lap. So, updated point standings. Because of Jeff Gordon's bold strategy move, he continues to be the point leader in front of Jeff Burton. Tony Stewart is 3rd. So the top 3 remains the same. Top 5 actually, they all remain the same, as Dale Jarrett is still 5th in points. Or should I say a tie for 5th, as Adam Petty now, your Rookie of the Year point leader, is tied for 5th with Dale Jarrett. Mark Martin has moved up to the 7th position, as Davey Allison has moved up to 8th. Ricky Rudd has dropped 3 spots to 9th, and Rusty Wallace has dropped to 10th in points. So once again, congratulations to Adam Petty in his second win in 2001, and it comes at the Milwaukee 300. Race number 16 takes us to Pocono Mountains at Pocono Raceway. Not much to talk about here as we have 23 laps, 43 cars are in, only 47 have entered. Pit stops, we got to make 2 pit stops in this race, not just 1. 4 cars failed to qualify, including Terry Labonte. He did not have any provisionals to fall back on, and so he unfortunately misses out on this race. Brett Bodine, Mike Skinner, and Robert Presley join suit. Pole sitter for this race is Johnny Benson, as he and Steve Park, who flipped at Milwaukee Mile, go side by side into turn number 1. Leading lap 1 barely is Johnny Benson, but Steve Park is right behind. 21 laps to go, Park does the lead as the caution flies. The reason why? Point leader Jeff Gordon and Alan Kowicki get into the outside wall. Joe Nemechek gets into Jeff Gordon as well. Everyone gets damaged, but everyone keeps going. Pit stops with 20 laps to go. Steve Park and Dale Jr. are 1-2. Restart soon after as Steve Park is your leader. Dale Jr., Johnny Benson, Todd Bodine, and Rusty Wallace are your top 5. And you notice Tim Steele, who's failed to make a few races, he's up to 7th position right now. 16 laps to go. Rusty Wallace moves up from 5th position to take the lead away from Steve Park. Johnny Benson follows suit. 6 laps to go. They had to take another set of pit stops as Johnny Benson goes down pit road and a bunch of drivers follow soon after. On the final lap, Rusty Wallace and Johnny Benson are 1-2. And Johnny Benson, just like Rockingham, could not get around Rusty Wallace. And Rusty Wallace will get his 3rd win of 2001. As you see the top 10, Rusty Wallace led the most laps with 15. Benson, Elliott, Little Lee, and Todd Bodine. Good run by him, finishes 5th. Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett with a good points day, finishes 8th. Kyle Petty finishes 9th, and Ricky Rudd finishes 10th. So because of Jeff Gordon's poor day, Jeff Burton does take the lead back, but only by 9 points in front of Jeff Gordon. Tony Stewart remains 3rd, Bill Elliott 4th, Dale Jarrett 5th, Adam Petty falls back to 10th. He did not have a good day either. Mark Martin is in the 6th position. Rusty Wallace moves up from 10th to 7th. Ricky Rudd moves up a spot to 8th, and Davey Allison moves back a spot to 9th in points. Our final race we'll deal with in this part is Sonoma, as they race here at Sears Point Raceway with a Dodge St. Mark 350. A couple of things to note: 17 laps in this race, 43 cars, 50 entered, only 1 pit stop to deal with. Road course ringers include Scott Pruitt, Ron Fellows, Robbie Gordon, Anthony Lazaro, Brian Simo, Dorsey Schrader, and Boris Said. Cars failed to qualify include Robbie Gordon, Terry Labonte again was not able to make the field, Dorsey Schrader, Brett Bodine, John Andretti, and Bobby Labonte. This is the first time in a long time that both Labontes are not in this race, and Brian Simo in the 90 car. Another note as well, NASCAR is trying a new policy called the caution-free policy. So that we keep the race going, unless a wreck is hard enough, they will not throw a caution during the road course races. So, Tony Stewart is your pole sitter with Jeff Gordon, Ron Fellows, and Dale Jarrett your top 4, and Adam Petty is 5th. On the first lap, Casey Elliott gets turned by Kenny Irwin and Tim Richmond and Stacy Compton. He only spins though, but he does keep going. Same lap though, Tim Richmond slides off with Chris Trickle, Todd Bodine, Jeff Burton, and Ricky Rudd also spinning. They all keep going though. 9 laps to go. Ron Fellows, who was in the top 5, he doesn't get through the corner accurately, and he spins off course, including with Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace. Ron Fellows does get stuck in the sand, but he eventually does keep going. Pit stops to happen soon after, and with 6 laps to go, Jeff Gordon has a commanding lead. And nobody else will catch Jeff Gordon as he gets into some lap traffic, but he will win here at Sears Point. So your top 10 is as so. Jeff Gordon, Kyle Petty with a good strong run finishes 2nd. Tony Stewart 3rd. Alan Kowicki gets a top 5 finish, a much needed top 5 finish. And Matt Kenseth finishes 5th. Then it's Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Jerry Nadeau, Mike Skinner, and Ricky Craven, your top 10. And as you take a look at points, Jeff Gordon does regain the lead back. Tony Stewart goes up a spot to 2nd. Jeff Burton falls 2 spots to the 3rd position. Bill Elliott 4th. Mark Martin moves up a spot to 5th. Rusty Wallace moves up a spot to 6th as Dale Jarrett drops 2 spots to 7th. Ricky Rudd stays where he is in 8th. Davey Allison drops a spot to 10th as Adam Petty falls out of the top 10. And Sterling Marlin moves into the top 10 in points. And it should be noted that Tony Stewart did lead the most laps with 9. So that'll do it for this part of One More Spark. Thank you guys for all the support, as next time we're going to cover the next 7 races, including the Pepsi 400. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.